Hey, there's nothing wrong with your bike. It's called clutch drag. It's normal. Every dirt bike I've ever had has had clutch drag. I'm gonna demonstrate it now to put your mind at ease. It's surprising how many emails I get when people are asking if there's something wrong with their clutch because they pull their clutch in all the way and their tire will still spin. Especially if it's on a stand, they'll see their tire spinning even with the clutch in. It's called clutch drag and it's not a problem. Every motorcycle I've ever had has had clutch drag. Every motorcycle in this shop has clutch drag, including my electric bike right over here, the Electric Motion. It has clutch drag. I tested every one, which I didn't need to, but it did anyway, and they all have clutch drag. I want to show you something out here. So essentially what happens is our clutches are wet clutches, okay? So the clutch inside your bike, whether it's a TM, whether it's a KTM, a Yamaha, a Honda, it has a wet clutch, meaning there's oil, transmission fluid, gear oil, motor oil in that bottom end, in that clutch, and all those gears, all those clutch plates are meshing up. You should pull one apart. So it doesn't matter, even if you've got your clutch lever pulled all the way, which we'll show here, you're still gonna get that tire to spin when you go ahead and put it in, or want to spin rather, when you go put it in gear. Now, if it's up on the stand, you'll see the tires will spin. I will demonstrate here, probably be rolling in some shots, how when I put the bikes in gear, the KTM, the TM, the Yamaha, I do it with an Electric Motion, I do it with all types of different bikes here. I'm gonna pull in the clutch, and this will still drag that tire. When I put it in gear, those clutch plates there's enough friction in there, the wheel is gonna wanna turn. And then you can touch your brake and it will, stop. And then you let off the brake and it'll start to go again. It'll start to turn again. That is absolutely normal. There's so many guys that have emailed me over the years saying, hey, is there something wrong with my bike or something wrong with my clutch? Because I get all this drag. You'll notice it's also difficult to push your bike when it's in gear. And that's is for the same reason. You'll notice that it's hard to start your bike when it's in gear. You'll also notice though that it's the worst when the bike is cold. And that's because that oil is thicker when it's cold. So I'm also gonna show, which I'll probably roll in right now, I have a little bit less clutch drag when I heated up one of my bikes to operating temperature, about 180 degrees. And I have less clutch drag because now that oil inside the bottom end is more fluid, it's more viscous. And so there's not as much friction there. But this clutch drag thing is normal on all clutches, on all motorcycle clutches specifically, because they are wet clutches with all that fluid down in there mixing in with those plates. That fluid is what, the gear oil or motor oil down the bottom end is what lubricates that clutch. And so it's totally normal for there to be some drag, and that drag reduces as that oil and stuff warms up and gets hotter. So you're always going to have it. And this is why, especially if you're trying to kickstart a bike, and sometimes I have some bikes, like the Yamaha is just about ready. The Yamaha YZ450FX over here is just about ready to go off to my runner-up winner for the March sweepstakes. It takes so long to get these things out, especially when they're being shipped. But like this bike, the Yamaha here, it doesn't even want to start sometimes when it's in gear because just a little bit, there's that little bit of extra clutch drag and it makes it difficult for the bikes to want to start. So it's often way better to start a bike in neutral, and that's why. So there's not any problem with it. Every time I show all the videos that I'm showing here, I will be pulling in the clutch all the way, clicking it into gear, and you'll notice that rear tire just starts to spin immediately. And you'll notice that when you're on a bike, always, you're on the bike, it's in neutral, you pull in your clutch, and you then click down on the shifter, and you feel the bike go kunk, and you're like, why is it doing that? Because I've got the clutch in? Well, that's why. And you see it really, really bad when the bike's up on a stand. Interestingly enough, the clutch works slightly different on this Electric Motion Escape R. Well, I think it works a little bit different, just a teeny bit different, but not different enough to where it doesn't also have clutch drag. This bike also has clutch drag, so what I did, you can't put it in gear, it doesn't have any gears, but I'd pull the clutch all the way in. In fact, I don't know if I can, anyway, I'll roll in the shot of me doing this because I was just playing around with all the bikes. I can't hold this tripod on the camera and do it for you. But even when I pull my clutch on this in all the way, and then I give some throttle over here. So there should be no power to the rear wheel, but there still is some power to the rear wheel because of that clutch. Now, when we're on the bikes and we got our brakes on and everything, you know, we don't notice it. But when there's no, you know, weight on the bike, no friction on that, then you will notice that clutch drag, and your tire will start to spin. So these are good questions, and there are no dumb questions in dirt bikes. The whole reason that I've done this, and one of the whole main reasons I've done Dirt Bike Channel, is just to help people understand and, you know, feel a little bit easier about getting into our sport. We don't know what we don't know, and if somebody, it's good to just answer questions for people and don't be condescending. We can joke around a little bit, but it's okay that you don't know that. Everyone has to learn it at some point. And every single motorcycle in my shop and every single motorcycle that I've ever had has had clutch drag. And that's what I tend to email people when they email me saying, hey, is there something wrong with my bike? No, there's nothing wrong with your bike. That's how they all are. So yeah, that's clutch drag in a nutshell for you. Couple of updates just to kind of keep you guys informed of what's happening with Dirt Bike Channel. In the month of June, we'll be having another sweepstakes. We will be including that TM EN300ES that's outside, and it will also include this KTM 300 XCW that's right behind me, right here. So that will be up for grabs in the month of June. I have new hats and I have new shirts up on the website, and then there's a bunch of other stuff that is also left over from the last sweepstakes, which we'll have up for grabs. So if you want to support what we're doing when we're not having a sweepstakes, the best way to do it, well, one of the best ways to do it no matter what, is to use my links to Rocky Mountain ATV. If you go to dirtbikechannel.com, it's one of the main menu items that says shop Rocky Mountain ATV. If you're just watching, if you look down in the video description of these videos, you'll see a link there for Rocky Mountain ATV. When you click those links, after you click those links, you can buy anything Rocky Mountain ATV sells. I do have some lists of things up there to kind of get the juices flowing, but you can buy anything you want, and it helps to support what we're doing. I love that because it doesn't cost you anything, but it does help to support the causes and fund bike reviews and fund gear reviews and fund these sweepstakes also, so that I can buy bikes and give them back to you. So hopefully if this is helpful, I get a lot of email from people. Sorry, I keep tipping this thing. It's like going weird on my hip. I get a lot of email from people with questions, and I welcome all questions. You can hit me up on my website. There's a contact form on my website, or you can just go kyle@dirtbikechannel.com. And I try to get back to those, any and all of those. Oh, it's because this drag, my head system up here is just turning. That's why I kept doing it. So I needed to tighten the tripod head. It just kept rolling over. Anyway, thanks so much for your support. You know your bike does not have any problems. Even the 125 over here has clutch drag. Every single one that I've got has got clutch drag. But take a look at this beautiful TM, man. This TM is going to go to a new home in the June sweepstakes, and it's a beautiful bike. And if you got that thing, you would be one of just a few that has them, because these things are pretty dang rare. So very, very cool bike. Sounds super cool. Check this out. Look how fast it starts too, because it's cold. Look, that is completely cold to the touch. This thing is cold. Hasn't been started today. In fact, it hasn't been started for a few days. Watch this. That's pretty good. It's fuel injected. And it's oil injected, so this does have an oil pump, but fuel injected, and that sucker starts. I mean, look at that. And that's with the bike being cold. So let's see if well, this is unfair because the 250XC, this one was started before, so now it's at 100 degrees because I had to get this one up to operating temperature to just kind of show there's less clutch drag. But oh, and it even started in gear. So that bike started, these TBI bikes, let's shut that off. These TBI bikes start like crazy. They start so fast, and that one even started in gear. So check this out. So now it's out of gear. They're lightning fast. These things, like, I don't agree with maybe all the changes that KTM made in their, this is a 23 250XC. I don't agree with all the changes they made. I feel like they made the bikes a little bit better for maybe motocross. But maybe a little bit not as good for like enduro riding, which is what I like to do. But the motors are on point. So, okay, this is just kind of a fun run and gun type video that I wanted to put out today, showing you a bunch of, probably rolling in a bunch of shots of me like showing clutch drag or whatever. So This is the new shop. As you can see, I have done some painting in here. So get my head out of there. Done a little bit of painting in the shop to make it look a little better. Normally I wouldn't show above those lights, so that's why I didn't paint all the way up to the ceiling. So normally this is about the framing that you would see if I was doing this for real. So, okay, run and gun type video. Let me know if you like these type of videos where it's just a little bit less formal, because that's what I wanted to do today. I just was feeling it. So that's what I got for you. Go ahead and use my links to Rocky Mountain ATV. That would really be helpful. Thank you so much if you're doing that. And wait on my website. Don't make a purchase on my website until June 1st, and then go grab a shirt, one of these cool hats. I really like how these hats turned out. We got the white webbing up here, says Dirt Bike Channel inside. Wait until June 1st, and then you'll get entries in for the TM and the KTM. So that's what I got for you guys. Thanks so much, and leave a single track.